Hello, this is the final video for the first section of the book for the first week of the class. And we're going to be talking a lot more about paradigms. And then there are going to be not one, but two additional videos that are be part of this video lecture. So we're going to get started by me showing you my screen. And let's first talk about the idea of the paradigm. The paradigm is definitely the way we see, understand, and interpret the world. So you can think of it about as a mental map or the lenses through which you see the world. So an example of that is this very, very famous drawing. In this drawing, some people see a beautiful young woman. Some people see an old hag. The truth is, they're both there. Now, if you're having trouble seeing the beautiful young woman, she's looking away from you, pointing to the left. If you are having trouble seeing the older woman, the beautiful young woman's veil is the older woman's headscarf, and the beautiful young woman's chin is the old woman's nose. Here's another example of something like that. This is a cowboy. But there is a young cowboy in this image and also an old cowboy in this image. And here is, no, that was all I had to show you. Okay, so where do these paradigms come from? Paradigms are actually inbred in you. You're affected from your experiences, you're affected from the way you grew up, and you're affected by the things that you see every day from the media and more from social media like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, etc. I'm going to give you an example of how we see the world, because basically we think we see the world as it is, when in fact we see the world as we are. So the idea behind the 7 habits is that we want to align our paradigms with our principles. In other words, we want to see the world in a way that helps us rather than hurts us. So each of the 7 habits is based on principles. So to understand what principles are, they are self-evident, natural laws. They're universal. They are timeless, they're objective, in other words, you can't say they're not true, and they're at work whether or not we understand or value them. So an example of that might be gravity. Gravity affects everyone unless you're in space. Gravity has always been on Earth, gravity will always be on Earth. They're objective, and even if you don't understand the concept of gravity, gravity still affects you. So we're going to watch first a video called Law of the Harvest, which is going to use the art of potato farming to help you understand principles. One of your writing assignments this week is based on this video. And then right after, I'm going to show another video, which is about the old fairy tale about the goose and the golden egg. So we'll watch 2 videos in a row after this. So just a moment. Oops. Here's Law of the Harvest.
An old saying among potato growers is that a good rotation is 1,000 years of sagebrush and 1 year of potatoes. And whereas if that's not possible, obviously, then we do next best, and that is spend the time and the number of years we need to prepare that ground, so that when we do plant a potato crop, which is very expensive to grow, we know then that we've given it every chance to succeed and have a premium quality potato. We recognize that there's a brotherhood of sorts among growers of potatoes. On the other hand, we also recognize the fact that we're in total competition one with another, that those people who buy our products examine virtually every potato storage and try to select the premium quality potatoes. In the potato industry, people are willing to pay for a premium potato, but the poor quality potato is really unmarketable. So it's a very serious consideration that we take the time to prepare for that potato crop. And so what we do is spend anywhere from 2 to 3 or 4 years preparing the ground prior to planting the potatoes. And this crop is one of them. It's a wheat crop, and it's not a lucrative crop, but it's a very good crop to prepare for the potato crop that's yet to come. All the preparations we can make almost daily, we do in order to assure quality, and we have to work hard at it. Otherwise, we have a product that no one wants to buy. One of the things that we've learned over the years, and I'm not young anymore, is the fact that Mother Nature is terribly unforgiving, and if we violate her rules, then she's very severe. And those who try to cheat her and ask for leniency are the ones who ultimately fail. Some years she may give us a little break, but if you count on it, you're a fool. You count only on your ability to get the crop out before Mother Nature is going to come and take it from you. The temptation to do things easier, quicker is sometimes there, but we've learned that we can't do it. We have to put the time and effort and money into having machinery and people prepared and make the sacrifices that's necessary to get it done in that time frame. We have 3 or 4 years of preparation for one crop of potatoes, and then we have a window of 3 weeks to get that crop out of the ground and under cover before Mother Nature plays tricks on us. And we try to maximize our growing season by waiting as long as we dare, but we also know that we're tickling the dragon's tail, so to speak, and so we make every preparation we can to let the crop grow as long as we can, and then once that's over, then we get into harvest. It's terribly important that we go not night and day, but 18 hours a day in order to beat that potential cold that could destroy the crop, even though it's in the ground. It's a pretty tough schedule, and pretty important that we're fully prepared and competent and get the job done timely, or we could lose it. Virtually 3 or 4 years of work. In this business, we've learned some lessons, and some of them in a hard way, that we can't take shortcuts or try to cheat as it relates to a harvest time. All the advances we see in irrigation and equipment, in technology and seed and fertilization, is not a substitute for other things. Anytime we violate the law of the harvest, so to speak, then we're doomed to failure in spite of all the advancements that we see come along. We try to make the best use we can of new technology and equipment that fits our needs, but we have also learned that it is no substitute for good, sound decision making and preparation, which we've always relied on, and we will always rely on it. It's more fundamental than changes in technology and equipment. I sense sometimes that there's a growing mentality in this country and maybe in the world that great things are going to be accomplished through advancements in technology and communications and computers, and to the point that the human element is not important. And I think nothing can be further from the truth, that we succeed only to the point that we develop the ability to change with changing times, to be prepared, to resist the temptation to make shortcuts, in our own preparation and knowledge. And I think the moment we rely on technology to substitute, we make grave mistakes. Well, by the very nature of farming, we have no roof over our head. We take whatever Mother Nature gives to us. We can't store good weather. We have to use it when it's good. We can't control the elements. We like the life. We think it builds character in people.
So again, that was Law of the Harvest, which is one of the videos that you're going to be discussing in your writing this week. And now we're going to look at the final video for this particular lecture, which is Goose and the Golden Egg.
The name of the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, was a very interesting thing to consider, because the natural tendency is for people to define such books as books for success, you know, like 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Why did we use the word effective? Effective. It's an extremely important word and a big difference from the traditional definition of success. How many have ever heard of Aesop's famous story about the goose and the golden egg? It's like most of us. The essence of the story: poor farmer, down on his luck, nothing was working. One day, next to his favorite goose, he saw a big golden egg. He tested it to see if it was real, because he thought someone had tricked him, found out it was real. He couldn't believe it. And then the next day, the same thing happened. Another golden egg. And then the next day, another golden egg. He was just thrilled beyond, I mean, his wealth was just exploding. He wanted it all. He became greedy and he became impatient. So he killed that goose, reached inside to get the golden eggs, only to find none. The essence of effectiveness is that you want the golden eggs, but you have to have a healthy, strong goose that will keep laying those golden eggs. In other words, you want the results that you want in such a way that you can get more of them, even better in the future. You've got to take care of the goose. Highly effective people, highly effective organizations, highly effective families, and so forth, always strive constantly to keep the proper balance between the goose and the golden egg, between P, or production of desired results, and PC, production capability, to keep those desired results coming and coming and getting better and better. This pertains to all of life. I mean, literally. How many have ever had a car or a machine or a lawnmower that you really enjoyed, you got good use out of it, but you neglected its maintenance? Eventually it broke down, and then you didn't get golden eggs from it. In other words, you liquidated the asset in the name of short term. So for a while it looked great, and you had the golden eggs, the machine kept working for you, the car kept working for you, but eventually you pay a price. What about our bodies? Same underlying principle. You can perhaps neglect your exercise and eat unwisely, where taste is a higher value than nutrition. You can neglect your rest, your relaxation, the way you manage your stress. The net effect, however, is you will eventually pay the price. How many have had experiences like that with your own body? You know that's the case. It's true also with organizations. I'll bet you've had experiences where you have seen supervisors or managers or other people come in, and in order to make a short-term big profit, a big success, big golden eggs, they neglect training, they neglect institutionalized advertising. They neglect putting any money into people at all, and they just exploit as much as they possibly can for the short term, get as many of those golden eggs as they can, and kill the goose that lays the golden egg. You know the greatest place to apply this PPC idea, this concept of effectiveness, this concept of goose and golden egg? It's in relationships, without any question, because they are the most important things we have in life, such as in a marriage, such as in a partnership, such as in any business relationship, such as in a relationship with a supplier, with customers. You know, I remember a fabulous little restaurant that served clam chowder that was so good. You couldn't hardly get near the place. Seriously, they'd start selling it about 11 o'clock in the morning, and lunch would go till 2 or 3, and people would buy big cartons of it to take home. I mean, it was so good. Everyone loved it. It had such a reputation that people would travel to get it. And then new ownership came in with new management. No one knew that. They just kept coming to the restaurant, but they watered down the clam chowder. They compromised the quality of the product. And I can well imagine how costs went down because they saved so much. Profits probably zoomed for a month or so. But eventually, the entire community became aware. The reputation was lost because they had killed the goose that laid the golden egg by watering down the clam chowder. They realized eventually what they had done, and they tried to redeem themselves, but they had so violated the trust with the marketplace that essentially that business went downhill. People didn't trust anymore, and that was pretty much the end of that restaurant. This is the fundamental principle, the PPC balance. It's the essence of the definition of effectiveness.
All right, excellent. That is the end of the videos for this particular section. So we are going to move on. There are a number of things to do, a 50-point assignment for this week, and then next week we will tackle the very first of the 7 habits, which is be proactive. Thanks and have a great week. Bye-bye.